Well, good evening. How y'all doing this evening? Captain John Bartlett Fearing, Confederate Army. This is my mother, Submit Fearing. We've been out here visiting some of our friends out here tonight. We just got ourselves a new arrival here. We're just trying to make them feel welcome. No doubt y'all passed the family Fearing plot when you came in. There's a whole mess of us Fearings buried out here in this here cemetery. And me and Mama like to come back from time to time and just sit amongst them. Some folks think that cemeteries are spooky fighting places. But me and Mama think they're fine places just to come back and get reacquainted with our ancestors. Any of y'all afraid of cemeteries? No? Some people are. So if you are, just think about your own ancestors lying there just waiting for you to come join them. Of course, you might have some relatives you just soon not spend eternity with. Quite honestly, I got several of those myself.
The Fearing family helped shape this old town ever since my husband, Isaiah Fearing, came here in 1814. You see, he and his brother left Massachusetts to fight in the War of 1812. They were both taken prisoner, and at the war's end, they were just dropped off ship. One brother at Cape Charles and my future husband at Cape Henry. Now, Isaiah learned of the Dismal Swamp Canal being built near here, and he decided to make his way to Elizabeth City. It's funny how fate plays a hand in one's life, isn't it? Now, soon after arriving here, Isaiah married his first wife, the widow Mary Grice, thus acquiring what is now the oldest house in Elizabeth City, the Fearing family home. It's on the corner of Fearing and Road Street. You may have seen it.
Now, after Mary died, Papa brought down this northern gal from his hometown to be his new bride. That ended up being my mother's Submit. Now, Mama was a feisty woman. Ho, ho, a feisty woman indeed. Well, one time during the war between the states, I think y'all call it the Civil War, she took on a Yankee colonel single-handedly. See, Papa had died a couple of years before that, and I was stationed down on Roanoke Island with the Confederate Army. I sent my wife, Emma, along with the boys, Mama, my little brother George, all lived with Emma's mama, the widow Bradford. Now, the widow Bradford had a farm over on Riverside, and I just thought it was safer for them to be over there. See, a whole lot of people left this town when they heard the Yankees were coming.
When those federal troops came up the Pasquotank River here and landed at those docks right across the street over there, this whole town went crazy. Folks started setting fire to their own homes just to spite the enemy. They were trying to keep the Yankees from capturing them.
Damn fools burned up several nice houses, plus the courthouse. They did more damage than General Burnside and his federal boys ever thought of. Thank goodness the Reverend Ford stayed calm. He went down to the docks and talked with General Burnside and surrendered the town peacefully.
Anyhow, I sent my sickly son George to a friend's plantation just north of town, and, well, some Yankee soldiers out on patrol stopped him and a companion one evening, and things went very, very wrong. Well, the upshot was that my sweet George was killed. And I got so angry. I put on my widow's cape and garb, I got out my horse and buggy, and I went straight to that Yankee headquarters. And I laid that colonel low. In fact, I created such a ruckus that he packed up his men and rode out of town. You know, being from the north myself, I'm not scared of any darn Yankees.
Mom, I wish I could have been there to see that. You know, folks, I think if we had a few more of these lady generals, that war would have got over a whole lot sooner.
I'll tell you something else I did. I hid hams right
Whoa,
underneath
Mama.
these long skirts and carried them in my buggy right past those Yankee guards, straight to Virginia for the Confederate soldiers stationed there. Yes, I did. You know, women had to be more resourceful than men, but we still did our part for the cause.
Now, any of you folks ever seen any movies or anything about the Civil War? Well, I can tell you now, what you've seen in them Hollywood movies ain't nothing like the real filth and disease these Southern boys really lived with. Well, Yankee bullets only killed 1 out of 4 of us. Measles, malaria, typhoid, smallpox, they got the rest of us. But you can be proud of knowing that North Carolina contributed more boys to the cause than any other state. On the downside, we lost more too.
My John was fortunate to survive the war, and he survived and lived happily in this fine town for many years. He ran the Fearing Mercantile Store on Road Street, and he even maintained the city streets.
Yep, we had to, Mama. We didn't have a public utility department back then. Well, after my wife Emma passed on, I was married twice more and had 2 more sons, little George and Enoch Pratt. Mama here died in 1888. Little Enoch was only 5 years old. He was sitting in my lap the next day as I was picking out hymns for Mama's funeral service. She always kind of liked this one. While I draw this fleeting breath, when my eyelids close in death. Us Fearing men always had real good voices. Kind of good looking too, don't you think?
Oh, no, John. Pretty is as pretty does.
Yes, ma'am. Anyway, in mid-hymn, I fall over dead as a doorknob. Scared little Enoch slammed out of his wits, poor baby. Well, the boys had to dig another hole. We had ourselves a double funeral. Me and Mama. Oh, it was a sad, sad time indeed.
Well, son, I expect these folks need to be moving on.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, by the way, before you leave, any of y'all bump into that rose-blooded Fred Fearing, tell him you met a couple of his relatives out here tonight, and we're saving a real good spot for him right over there. Good evening to you now. Good evening.